Let's find out why. Oh my goodness. So first things first, let me start by saying and preface this video by stating that this is not an attack on Dr. Umar in any way, shape, or form. This is not an attack on Dr. Umar, okay? I just want to be exceptionally clear, crystal clear in stating that point, because I know there are going to be people who are like, oh, why are you attacking Dr. Umar? What have you done? What have you done for the community? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now, when it comes to community and all that, I already have a video on as, you know, black people have 5 years, okay, until politically extinct, and then, you know, it goes from there. Nevertheless, I want to bring that out, that I think that if Dr. Umar is successful in his endeavor of this school, that it is going to be absolutely revolutionary. And this is actually going to be one of the catalysts that I said that is the only way black people are going to not become extinct. And that is either there is a person, right, like a Moses figure, or there is some type of catalytic event that specifically and exclusively attacks black people. I don't care. It could be an alien invasion where they're like, hey, we're going to destroy all black people. That or a Moses situation. And in this case, if Dr. Umar fulfills what he says he's, you know, trying to fulfill, then that would be our Moses situation, which would then be a catalyst, all right, for black people becoming self-efficient and actually having, you know, actually becoming empowered. Nevertheless, so I want him to succeed. I really do. However, looking at the facts and evidence of the situation, because that's what I believe. I don't believe men and women. I believe facts and evidence, that it seems to be a bit dire, okay? It seems to be a bit improbable what he's hoping to achieve. And let me break this down. Dr. Umar wants a school for black people by black people. That is what he wants. He sees an issue in education. You know, he sees an issue, a lot of systemic issues, specifically targeting black Americans due to slavery, stemming from slavery, and having a ripple effect all the way until present day. Whether it's, you know, education, whether it's, men being men, whether it's fathers, whether it's, you know, abuse, a litany of things that he wants to cover in this school. And I think that's great, because there's definitely a need for that no other group seems to care about. Not to say that they should, even though I think they should, right? Because they constantly want to talk about, hey, we're all Americans. Well, this group of Americans needs help. And then it comes to, well, lift yourself up by the bootstrap. They only give that message to black Americans, I notice. Any other group that says, hey, we need help, they're like, hey, we got you. But nevertheless, it comes with the territory, all right? We you know, they don't want us here to begin with. So I think there's a hole that needs to be filled. I think if he does this, it'll be great. He talks about, you know, the arduous path that he took in order to secure this property. And, you know, it was $1 million. He could only raise 500,000, $500,000. Now, okay, you can't even get a house in Cali for 500 mil. You can maybe get an empty lot, all right, that's maybe 9 by 10 for 500,000 in California, much less an entire like school that can, you know, that can have people in that is good to go. So upon him finally find this real estate, this school, it's obviously going to need some work, which it did. And the thing he brings up is that the black contractors who were supposed to be helping him completely screwed him over. They overpriced him, and then, you know, they didn't do the work that they were supposed to do. Completely screwed him over.
We got to school 2017. I'm happy, jumping for joy. Little did I know, the black contractors was not going to do us any justice. Yeah. Man. We got robbed. We got scammed, man, our own people.
Now, I want you to think about this, because this starts to add up. These are black contractors. He could have easily hired Hispanic contractors, white contractors, Asian contractors, but he is very much, hey, he's a Pan-African, pro-black. He wants black people. That's what he wants to do. He wants to employ black people. And these black people, even though it's a school for them, right? It's a school to benefit us, screwed him over. That is quite alarming. He then comes to say that, hey, at the end of the day, he had to hire a white contractor. The white contractor fixed up the, you know, the HVAC, whatever. And he was like, hey, do you know a plumber? White contractor was like, yeah, I know a plumber, blah, blah, blah. Brought that person in and he got it fixed.
Which is unfortunate, yeah.
Very unfortunate. Then one day, last September, I said, you know what? I'm going to have to use white folks. I waited 3 years to try to get my people. We got to school in 17. We got to school in 19. I saw it in 17. We got it in 19. This is 2023. right? So February of 19 to 20 to 21 to 22 to 23, 4 years, I decided to call up a white man, HVAC. He had both units on the roof in 2 days. Crane truck and everything. We already bought the units. We had them custom made. I started scratching my head like, damn. I'm waiting on brothers for 3. This white man did this in 2 days? So then I asked the white man, I said, you know any plumbers? He said, I got a plumber for you. Boom. Electrician? I got that. Boom. Security? Boom. Fire come? Boom, boom. Those white men did in 4 months. 3 months, really. What black men couldn't help me do in 3 years.
The issue that I think why his school is going to fail is precisely what he's been dealing with already. And that is a lack of unity and lack of organization within the group. Because what you have to understand is that the biggest obstacle moving forward on this school is that it's non-accredited, okay? And he doesn't have a problem with it. To him, he's like, that's fine because we don't even need to work in the system, okay? We need to be outside of the system because the system hasn't helped us. So we need to create our own, atmosphere, our own system, okay? That's what we need to do. We need to be self-sufficient of our own so we don't have to rely on so-and-so or this person. And I agree with that 100%. However, that unity, okay, that unity that's going to have to be present in order for this school to thrive is not. That's the issue. And he brought this up when it comes to reparations. He's for reparations, but one thing he mostly brings up is that, we got to be thinking about the group. Everyone's talking about the individual. What I'm going to spend the money on. Reparations is for the group. That's what it's for. It's for to build the group, the wealth of the group at the same level or somewhere near the wealth gap of white individuals, right? The white group. That's what it's for, to even the wealth gap. But that's not how many people are viewing this. In addition to that, when it comes to wealth, you also wanted to think about the future, right? Your offspring, other black people who are coming after you, so that there is, they have an, investment, they have funds, they have, grants, whatever it is that they need in order to continue on this wealth that you've built from reparations. He says, and this is something I agree with him on, is that that's not present. So what's going to happen is that there's going to be, an implosion. That's naturally what's going to happen. If you have a group who has been plagued by systemic racism, even to this day, on all fronts, to the point where many black people are forget pro-black. It's now to the point where it's self-hatred, okay? Because they've now realized that, hey, there's more money in self-hatred than there is in self-love. And due to the country that we're in, that is what is being monetized. The self-hatred of black Americans, whether you're black or not. That's what's being promoted. That's what sells. As unfortunate as that is, but it is what it is. And instead of pushing back on that, many people have just embraced it. Because it's like, hey, I can do this or I can starve and maintain my integrity. And people are starting to realize, integrity isn't what it's cracked up to be when there's no food on the table and you have a family of 3. Or it's not cracked up to be when you're in your car and you're sleeping, in your car and have to find, a 7-Eleven or something or a Starbucks to shower at. So that is what's happening. We are being exploited on all fronts. And due to that exploitation, which is why I find it very difficult that people, parents, not even people, forget people, right? We're talking about parents. Parents who have children who live in the real world, okay? We don't live in Wakanda, all right? We live in the real world, that we have to deal with real situations in this country. And what you are asking them to do is to make a sacrifice, an admirable sacrifice, okay? Don't get me wrong, a valiant sacrifice to say, hey, I'm going to forego any type of accreditation and go to Dr. Umar school to raise a strong black man or to raise a strong black woman or to raise a strong black family and to have unity and for us to work together and harmonize within this country and to build ourselves up. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening, and neither does Dr. Umar. Because if you took so much time, it was such a campaign to get a school up and running. I want you now to think about when it comes to teachers, when it comes to staff, when it comes to security or whatever. Think about that. So I don't see how that's gonna work, because you're gonna have to pay the teachers, right? You're gonna want the teachers to be accredited, right? Or some type of education to know what they're talking about. So it seems a great concept, but unfortunately, us as a group, I don't think we're ready for that transition. I don't think we're ready for that transition, because if we were, we wouldn't be where we are right now. If we were ready to sacrifice to get some things going, we would not be where we are as a group right now. And I'll be the first one to say, hey, if it means I lose Wi-Fi, I lose internet, I can't use my smartphone, or I can't do this or do that because I'm boycotting or protesting against, this company or that, I don't think a lot of people are going to make that sacrifice. It's going to be very, very difficult to make that sacrifice. But now you're not even making that sacrifice for yourself. You're now making that sacrifice for your child. Okay. Now you're saying, hey, I'm making this decision for the benefit of the future and for the benefit of the group. And this kid is going to be a guinea pig. And I know a lot of parents who are going to put their child in a guinea pig situation that at the end of the day, once you start paying tuition, I don't know if they're going to have any programs, right, where you can buy a loan to to pay off the school or something, right? I don't know if they're going to have any grants, but say they do take out a loan to pay off the tuition. I don't know a lot of parents or a lot of people in general who would do that without having anything on the back end. Because all the back end is just trust, faith, hope that we're going to unify together and this is all going to come together at the end. There is no piece of paper that you can show whether or not you think that's, a meritless or not. It's still a piece of paper. It's still that, hey, I have a BA, I have an AA, I have a master's, I have a PhD, whatever it is. I can still show that and use that. As opposed to, well, I got nothing but, the black person next to me and the black person next to them. That's all I have. And I don't think that this generation, maybe the next generation, I don't know, maybe the next generation, depending on when the school officially opens and they have, teachers and everything, I don't know if this generation is ready for that transition, because it's a massive, massive transition to expect from a group of people who are in an unfortunate circumstance due to, internal and external factors levied against us. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe, lose, why are you such a hater, okay? You just hate everything, okay? Dr. Umar is doing great. He's doing way more than anything you could have done, okay? Dr. Umar is the greatest. We need to support him. Or if you don't believe, that's not the point, okay? The point is whether or not this is going to backfire. The point is whether or not this is even a feasible plan, whether or not it's even plausible, okay? And how, if you don't think it's plausible, well, how do you, fix the leaks? How do you fix the cracks? That's more of where you need to be thinking at this from, as opposed to, well, everything's going to work and black people, we're just going to come together. That's not how anything works. That's not how anything works, okay? So it's just something to be wary of. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you're more than welcome to call in during disagreement days, which are typically held Friday through Sunday. There'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Either or. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Until next time, guys, be amazing. And this kid is going to be a guinea pig.